Nate, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for joining me. What are you seeing in the new FedRAMP roadmap, and how do you think it will impact the way that both agencies and the vendor community interact with each other and move forward in cloud security and government?
Absolutely. Good question. I think right now there's actually a lot inside the FedRAMP roadmap. One of the items that we're currently going through the process of is the updating of the security control baselines with Rev 5. The biggest impacts I actually see on this are going to really be on the vendor side. As you're a cloud service provider who's trying to go through an ATO to do work with the federal agency, it's an increase in number of requirements that you're going to have to achieve. A good example is like software composition in the supply chain. Where does that come from? How is that coming into play? There's a number of other requirements that come into play. So big impacts there. Ultimately, though, it's achieving the goal of making increased security, ideally, for federal agencies that are consuming this, especially at this time. On the roadmap, also, hopefully, in the short term, it's going to probably cause some angst, cause some changes and some inefficiencies, but long term will reduce that. Is a lot of the changes that are being rolled out right now, such as the piloting of a new agile method that can really hopefully take down a lot of the barriers that are caused by the current significant change process, which itself hampers a lot of the ability to stay agile and continuous releases of new products and features. So that new agile program is ideally going to lead to more innovation and a faster timeline that both vendors can really benefit from, and being able to offer new value props in order to the agencies, and that agencies can receive that value prop. So there will be a lot of benefit that I think will come out of that over the longer term. How that process is going to look, how it's going to shape out, there will probably, we expect that there's going to be some bumps, but ultimately more better software. Also within the FedRAMP roadmap, we're seeing the introduction of accelerated processes for the ATO itself. I know JAB is being gotten rid of, but replaced by the FedRAMP program, which has the potential to allow organizations, cloud service providers, to get authorizations without having to have a full-on agency partner in tow per se. Hopefully this will be a massive impact. This will mean a lot more authorizations and a lot more solutions on the marketplace for agencies to consume from in a shorter amount of time. That's obviously a positive impact on the agency side, and on the cloud service provider side, it's a great impact because it'll ideally reduce the time to revenue that they're having to build their business cases off, especially for small to medium-sized businesses. It's really hard when you're a small to medium-sized business. You're already working off of constrained funding to then fork up the time of the upfront capital expense, but then deal with the long, 2-year lead time to revenue to make your return on investment. This drives a lot of partners out of the federal ecosystem who, they can't wait that time. So these are major things that we see on the FedRAMP roadmap that we're really excited to see come to fruition: increased security to protect our federal agencies, our data, our citizens, our services, but also innovation, an increased amount of innovation, both in the processes and hopefully the types of technologies that can go to market.
You talked about the challenges in getting to the agile state that the FedRAMP roadmap calls for. What do you think some of those are, and how can agencies try to mitigate them or just get past them altogether?
I think the challenges are probably going to not be technical in terms of what organizations have to do right now. All of these cloud service providers they're already used to doing monthly testing and scans on everything that they're doing. I think the challenge is going to be, how do you facilitate that through a process of agencies and the program being able to scale it, being able to review everything that's going on in order to enable those type of agile processes. So we're definitely paying very close attention to how that scales, how this new agile process is going to go from pilot to more specific requirements that a lot of these ISVs are capable to keep up with.
Nate, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks for your time.